What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video, and today we are going to be talking about 4 players currently on the Kansas City Chiefs roster that could be cut this offseason. So as rookie training camp wraps up and we get closer to training camp and OTAs and all that good stuff, and roster storylines start to come up, I wanted to talk about 4 players that I think are in danger of losing their roster spot and getting cut if they don't step it up this camp. Now, a lot of these guys could be offensive linemen since the Chiefs have so many offensive linemen right now. I expect a few of those guys to get let go, but I don't want like 3 of the 4 guys on my list to be offensive linemen. So I'm going to pick about one of them to keep some good variety and talk about some other position groups on the roster in this video. So I'm going to pick at least one lineman and then go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get right into this list. All right, so my first player on the Kansas City Chiefs that I think is in danger of being cut, Nick Kaiser, the tight end. So the Kansas City Chiefs drafted Noah Gray in this past NFL draft. Everyone likes that pick. It seems he's got a lot of similarities to Travis Kelce. He should be a fun prospect to watch develop. I really like the pick as well. Mocked him to the Chiefs a couple times. But that gives the Chiefs Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Blake Bell, Nick Kaiser, and Jody Fortson, who is lining up at tight end this year, it appears. So the Chiefs, I don't think, are going to carry more tight ends than 4, and my 4 would probably be Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Blake Bell, Jody Fortson. And I'm not quite sure where Nick Kaiser falls in that group. I know Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs staff really seem to like him for whatever reason. Most fans would probably agree with me, though, that Nick Kaiser wasn't very good. He didn't impress, consistently screwed up when he was on the field, and I just don't like the guy as a player. I'm not impressed, and I would expect him to be cut. You know, he doesn't cost very much to let go. He only signed a tender anyway, and I think the position group has just become a little bit too stacked for Kaiser to stick around. And the Chiefs, like I said, they also brought back Blake Bell, who Andy Reid really likes, but I think Blake Bell brings more to the table than even Kaiser does. I think the Chiefs missed Blake Bell last year. His blocking is very valuable, and he does a lot on special teams too. So yeah, my first cut candidate is Nick Kaiser. All right, with number 2 on my cut candidates list, I'm going with offensive lineman Nick Allegretti. Nick Allegretti was someone that proved to be a capable backup last year for the Kansas City Chiefs at the guard spot. But he still showed that he was a backup with his play at times. He also showed some flashes too, but the guy was a 7th round pick. But the reason I say Allegretti is just because I don't think there's room for him anymore. At one point, it seemed like he was in line to be the backup center, with just Austin Blythe in the fold at that spot, because Allegretti also played some center in college, because I don't think he's getting in at guard anymore. The Chiefs still got Wiley, they got Tooney, they got Long, LDC. No way Allegretti plays guard next year. So I thought maybe he would get a chance to be the backup center. Well, then the Chiefs drafted Creed Humphrey. Now Blythe looks like the backup center, and Blythe can also play guard, and I think Blythe would be ahead of Allegretti in both those scenarios. So I just feel like there's no room for Allegretti anymore, man. He was a capable backup. Heck, they could even use him as trade bait. I think he might have a little bit of trade value for a team looking for depth. But right now, it doesn't look great for Allegretti. All right, so number 3 on my Kansas City Chiefs cut candidates list, running back Darwin Thompson. Darwin Thompson was an interesting prospect taken in the 6th round of that 2019 draft. And while I was very intrigued by the pick at the time, the Kansas City Chiefs just never really showed commitment to giving him, real significant snaps. There were a couple times, I think maybe in his rookie year, where he got some garbage time carries, maybe played a couple of plays out of necessity, and he looked fine. I thought that would be good for him going forward. Then 2020, they tried to get him involved early. Then he got put in the doghouse for fumbling in the Ravens game, and we never really saw him again after that. And then the Chiefs signed Jerick McKinnon this offseason. Now, the Chiefs usually carry about 4 running backs, which would make me think, they can keep Darwin Thompson, because now you got Clyde, Jerick McKinnon, Darrell Williams, Darwin Thompson. However, Darwin Thompson isn't going to play either way. I mean, the Chiefs have just like there had been several situations where Darwin Thompson had an opportunity and the Chiefs didn't use him, and I think that's pretty telling. If the Chiefs want to carry a 4th running back later on, they'll pick up someone that's a free agent for cheap that would play more than Darwin Thompson would. That's just how I feel. I don't think the team has Darwin Thompson in their plans. Yeah, he looked all right in that Week 17 game last year, and that's given some fans a little glimmer of hope. But I mean, who else really was going to play in that game? I don't see it with Darwin Thompson, and I think he's in danger of losing his spot if he doesn't step up this camp. All right, in my last Kansas City Chiefs cut candidate for this offseason is defensive tackle Colin Saunders. I've talked about Colin Saunders over and over again regarding his status on the roster. I'm not sure that he makes it this offseason. I mean, when Mike Pennell left, Mike Pennell's actually still a free agent, I think, but the Chiefs have been pretty clear that they're not bringing him back. I thought when he left, that would be, Colin Saunders' opportunity to step up, because Colin Saunders was inactive a lot last year, especially after getting hurt. But then he healed and he was still inactive, and Tershawn Wharton passed him on the depth chart. Tershawn Wharton showed really good flashes. It's not like Colin Saunders was playing over Tershawn Wharton. But with Mike Pennell out of the fold, I thought, okay, here's Tershawn Wharton, not Tershawn Wharton, Colin Saunders' chance to make the rotation and prove his worth. Well, then the Chiefs signed Jarran Reed. And the Chiefs also got Derek Nottie and Chris Jones. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't see how Colin Saunders gets into that rotation when it's even deeper than it was last year when they added Jarran Reed. I just don't see it. And I know Chris Jones can play out on the edge a little bit, and they've talked about that, and maybe that opens some snaps for Colin Saunders, but even then, I still don't see how Colin Saunders gets in there, because even if Chris Jones is on the edge, it's most likely going to be like Nottie and Jarran Reed. So Colin Saunders, it's going to be an indictment on Veach if that top 100 pick after just 2 seasons already gets cut. That would suck, but honestly, I have a tough time seeing how Colin Saunders makes the rotation. I really do, which would be a shame. I'm pulling for the guy, though, because I really want that pick to work out, but that's one that I'm really concerned about, and I think Colin Saunders is in danger of getting cut if he does not step it up this camp. So there's my list. Those are 4 guys that I believe are in danger of getting cut this offseason if they do not step it up. So all that being said, let me know what you guys think of my list, or who you think the Chiefs might cut if they don't step up in camp, who you would like to see take that step. Let me know, and make sure you like, share, subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this video, and make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and kckingdom.com. That's all I got for today. Peace.